All right, hello and welcome to another of our To High School and Beyond videos where we interview folks from the professional community in Hickory and the surrounding areas to talk about what they do for a living and how our students could get into those fields and also about other opportunities that are available to our students. I'm joined today by Christopher White, who is working with the Conflict Resolution Center. Chris, welcome. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
I want to give you the opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Christopher White. I work for a nonprofit organization called the Conflict Resolution Center, and we provide various services for the community, mostly court-related services. In particular, I run two programs. One is called the Restorative Circle program, and then also we recently have started a new program called Teen Court, which is a court procedure that is run for teens with criminal charges by teens. That's what I'm doing here at the Conflict Resolution Center, or the CRC we call it.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. I know that you work with teens, and my students are either teens themselves or just on the verge, are about to become teenagers. And then these videos get shared with high school students as well. So what are the benefits of working with you? If a student were participating in your program, what might some of the benefits be? And then if a student were volunteering in your program, what might some benefits be?
Okay, yeah, great. So both programs are funded for juveniles between 11 and 17 years old by what is called the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, which is an organization that is part of the Department of Public Safety. As far as volunteering with us, programs are based on a concept called restorative justice. And restorative justice looks at the legal system a bit different. The criminal legal system looks at, the law that was broken and who broke that law and how do we punish that person. Whereas restorative justice looks at who was harmed, who caused the harm, and how do we repair that harm. So it looks at things a bit differently in that we try to hold kids accountable for their behavior, yet support them as well. And where the teens come in for volunteers, 14 to 17-year-olds, they come in through both the Circle program and Teen Court to help in the process. So what teens can do is share their stories, empathize with others, provide solutions and help kids set goals, for instance. With both programs, that volunteer piece is important because having youth volunteers in that process, and especially Teen Court, youth, literally a jury of peers, it helps the clients that we serve, the kids that have some sort of behavior issues or even criminal charges. Our adult volunteers, and myself included, we can try to empathize, right? But we can't really understand what it's like to be harassed or threatened on Snapchat, because when I was in high school, there was no such thing. So that's kind of succinct, I guess, view of what the volunteers can do with our program. Where it's beneficial, there's numerous reasons why it's beneficial to volunteer with us. One of the things that I think is really important is when kids volunteer their time with kids that are at risk, that are facing a criminal charge. It's really awesome that these kids that come to this program learn to empathize with others and put themselves in their shoes, if you will. Beyond that, the benefit is substantial for, to supplement letters of intent to university, college applications, job applications, job resumes, really anything that requires you to stand out from others. That volunteer piece is going to be huge. And we keep really good track of volunteer hours. So when you apply to that college, you apply for that job, you can say, hey, I've got 60 plus hours of my time volunteered with this program.
I wanted to clarify one thing. When you mentioned those volunteer hours and tracking those volunteer hours, does your organization qualify as a place where kids can volunteer and get their hours for things like scouts that might require volunteer work, or Beta Club that might require volunteer work, or other organizations that they're involved in?
Yes, and absolutely. As a matter of fact, most of the kids that we've trained for Teen Court are Beta Club members. We have actually Girl Scouts. So yeah, hours that you can earn with us can be applicable toward club hours, any community service hours that are required by schools and whatnot.
Excellent. Excellent. So when kids volunteer in your program, what kind of activities and experiences do they get to have? And what kind of careers would those experiences prepare them for?
Great question. If I can, I'll actually provide a couple of examples and then I can give you a more generalized thought on that question. I have a couple of kids that one is currently volunteering, one has moved off to college. Last time I heard, he was studying sociology. The other guy, he's still with us, but not for long because he just got accepted to UNC Chapel Hill. He wants to be a pediatric psychiatrist and thereafter a U.S. senator. So he's got some lofty goals, and I thought that was really awesome for him to have such goals at such a young age. I certainly did not. But we have teen court prosecutors and defense attorneys who are hoping to go to law school and do that for a living. So especially with the teen court program, if you're interested in law enforcement, law, we have a Catawba County cadet, one of our best volunteers, most reliable volunteers, and he is our bailiff or one of our bailiffs. And he wants to go to school for psychology and then later onto law enforcement and shooting for like maybe the FBI or something. Generally, what I say is if you're interested in any of the social sciences, my undergrad is in political science, there's sociology, psychology, even education. Restorative justice practices are being utilized a lot more in the state of North Carolina and being implemented in schools as well. Education, law enforcement, really anyone that wants to just give back to their community as well and help people. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, yeah. I'm curious about your personal pathway into this career.
Yeah, it's, I hope anyway, an interesting story, but I wasn't a traditional student. I kind of bounced around community college here and there. I took a course here and there, whatever. And then I finally met a professor who just changed, my worldview, and I discovered political science. I just kind of stumbled into a program at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro called Peace and Conflict Studies. And it's big into mediation, dispute resolution, conflict resolution, that sort of thing. But I discovered restorative justice there. And it wasn't until my last paper I was writing in grad school that I realized what I wanted to do and why I wanted to do it. My little brother, he has been in and out of jail and prison, including federal prison, since 17 years old. So it didn't dawn on me again until I was writing that paper. I was like, oh, I want to help keep kids out of the system. Beyond the age of 17, it gets a lot rougher. Juvenile justice, it's necessary to help hold these kids accountable and help kids find a new path. But once you're 18 and you're in the system, it's good luck. Yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. I love my job. I would do it for free.
Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. The last question we have for you is just if you could give a piece of advice to middle or high school students who are thinking about their future, what would you tell them?
Yeah, so speaking about my friend Jack, one of our volunteers that's going to Chapel Hill, he's got these lofty goals, and that's really cool that he has such a desire to do what he wants, at such a young age. I didn't do that. I had, as mentioned, a different path. And I bounced around and eventually went back to college and got a degree, and I was hungry for more education, so I kept going. But that being said, if you're not ready for college, I don't think, it's necessarily a bad thing. I kind of wish I had done things differently, but I wouldn't be where I am today otherwise. But that being said, if you do know what you want to do or you're contemplating college, take advantage of all the resources that are out there to help you with college tuition, with scholarships. And if you don't want to necessarily go straight to college, there's still programs out there that can help. There's one called NC Works, there's one called Next Gen, Youth Build. There are all these great programs out there that help kids transition from high school into a career or into college. So there's a lot of different avenues that you can test out to see if that's something you're interested in. without having to, make a decision right away. I just didn't know a lot about that in high school, the resources that were out there. You need to get to know your guidance counselor. They're there to guide you, to help you. So I certainly encourage kids to reach out. If you need help, reach out. That's what school, faculty are there for.
Well, thank you for that. I'm going to put in a couple of shameless plugs here for the kids listening. Connect with your school counselor because that's really important. But also know that you've got a career development coordinator at every school, middle schools and high schools, that also can help with those questions about connecting you to the world of work, connecting you to the next level of your education. We're here to help and we want to help. So as we close out, is there anything else that you would like to share about your program or about your experiences or how to get in touch with you or anything of that nature?
Sure. I guess, contact information. If you're interested in any opportunities here at the CRC, you can find us at conflictresolutioncenter.org. Please reach out if you're interested in any of our programs. We do a lot of cool things for the community. And if you're looking for those club service hours or just want to help give back to your community, please come out and help out anytime. Thank you.
Well, thank you again, Chris, for being here with us and sharing your knowledge and about your program. We just appreciate you being here with us today.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.